Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Falcon Paladin, our guest star every week.
I'm the guest star.
Yeah, you get top billing and you're the guest star.
Fair enough. That's very cool. I'm glad to be the guest star today.
You're
So
absolutely
you need
welcome.
to ask all the questions and I will answer them.
Do you know any questions I should ask? I was not
That
prepared
was
to have
that
my
was
bit
really
turned on me.
yeah, that was really well done. That turn back around was pretty great too. I was right thinking on your feet, man. Wow. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Anywho,
anywho.
yeah. So yeah, things are good. StarCraft is happening.
Is it?
I've been streaming a
Oh,
whole lot.
so you've been doing that, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not specify StarCraft 2,
That's true, that's true.
I've been posting StarCraft 2 videos to my channel. I'm getting through the entire esports cup backlog. Like it's a lot of replays, but I'm getting through them. So it's been a
Hope,
while,
Hopefully there'll be another tournament eventually for you to get new replays.
right? Because we need a Protoss to win a premier tournament. You
Wow.
posted that little graphic in the StarCraft 2 channel in the Discord.
Yeah, I found that on Reddit. Someone had done a wonderful job putting all this information together about any tournament over 200,000, so ignoring whether or not it's prime.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus myself. Sorry.
Are you not watching in 360p again?
No, I checked this time. It's 1080.
Okay.
It's not fixing. You piece of crap.
You're a little dark. You
Yeah.
got a light on? Open a window?
Yep. No, it's dark outside.
Um, I don't know. You're just
I
blurry.
don't know. Yeah.
You need more
Whatever, it doesn't
defined
matter.
features. Go get plastic surgery.
Don't you neg me. All right.
It's a great excuse to go to South Korea, catch some GSL or SSL or ASL, whatever they're calling it.
Do they do white person plastic surgery in Korea?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh,
They do all kinds
okay.
of plastic surgery in Korea. It's super popular there. Like people give like gift certificates as like high school graduation. They're like, hey, here you go get some plastic surgery. It's super popular over there.
So we are saying not the most healthy society at this point. No. See,
Yeah,
look,
a healthy society, thriving economy. What's the difference?
big difference. So yeah,
Anyway,
so I have light now. I'm brighter.
but you're still kind of fuzzy.
Still fuzzy. Whatever. I'm not
Just
gonna
roll with
worry
it.
about it.
Yeah,
I'll fix it later. Okay.
I'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, in post. Okay, so someone put together a little spreadsheet with all the tournaments over 200k, regardless of whether they're a major tournament, premier tournament, whoever was playing in them. And since 2016, there has not been a single Protoss win.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Hero won GSL in 2022. So, like, maybe he didn't make quite that much money, but that was an incredibly prestigious win. So I'm not like, right? You brag about that. Yeah, GSL win? Holy crap.
I think 10 years ago a GSL win meant more than it did today. I mean, it's
Yeah.
three of them a year, and like a couple
And you
years
don't
ago,
have to match up against Cyril or Raynor or Clem or Showtime or, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they reduced the format a couple years ago. His win was like right after they did that, didn't they? Like, so he didn't even do like the full month and a half GSL. He did like the short 3 week GSL.
I was not aware that that's what happened during that particular GSL. Let me see. What's
Like,
funny is I was looking at it today for a different thing, and it's funny because it's GSL 2022 Season 2, and then there's another 2 in there somewhere. Where is it? GSL. Oh, that's pretty much it. Anywho, yeah, 2022. Oh, yeah, 2022 StarCraft 2 Season 2. Right. So yeah, it ran from June 6th to July 29th. So it's 2 months.
yeah, okay, so maybe it was before the change. What was the prize pool? That'll give it away pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah, yeah. Liquipedia says the prize pool was $123,000.
I think that's pre like IEM Is it IEM or is it just Blizzard who pulled out their money? I don't remember. Um,
So if we go to the next one, 2022 season 3, the prize pool is $123,000.
what about the next one after that?
And then 2023 season 1 is about $52,000.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one that's...
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So 2023. So, okay, it's a legitimate GSL.
Yeah. It's a long time ago now, though. I mean,
Yeah.
we are past the 2-year mark, so that's a chunk of StarCraft history. Totally. And yeah, I mean, it was, again, no Cyril, no Rainer, like GSL's GSL, but I mean, it's as good as they've gotten, so let's not be too picky about this, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so that's curious. So if we include all premier level tournaments, but what's the one before GSL?
If it was
Is there a list of all of them?
there'll be a page for just Premier tournaments. Yeah, that'll be there somewhere. Tournaments, upcoming Home Story Cup, ongoing, nothing. Thanks, Wikipedia. Thanks for showing me that information. Really crushed my spirit.
I can't remember. Like it's too long ago. I can't remember when the last time a Protoss player won a WCS event or whatever, right?
Premier tournament. I'm looking. That's a team league. That's a team league. Rena, Solar. Here are DreamHack Masters 2022 Atlanta. Hero beat Bunny. And now I need to check if that was like a regional qualifier event kind of thing.
If Bunny's in the finals, that's interesting.
Yeah, Cyril came third. So did Maru. Clem was there. Reyna was there. Neeb was there. I feel like Neeb disappeared 6 years ago. Except apparently he was here.
Right?
Beyond was there apparently.
Who did Bunny beat?
Let's have a look. He did not beat Hero, but he beat Cyril 3-1. He beat Nightmare. He beat Clem. He beat Trigger. And then where's his group? He in his group he beat Lambo. He beat Cure. Cyril beat Bunny in the group, which is funny because apparently he went on to lose to him.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. That's about it.
Dang. So that's like peak Bunny, man. That's like the best day he's ever had in his entire life.
A second place at Atlanta.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
And that's the most recent Protoss winning of a Premier tournament, and it was worth 15 grand for him.
Definitely been a while.
Yep. Definitely been a hot minute.
All right. So, sad times for Protoss.
Don't worry, this new patch will fix it.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're listening to feedback at least.
Sure.
If they just went through with their original ideas, I don't think it would have helped at all.
No. They did update and revise their PTR build by listening to feedback, like you said.
Good for them. Where is that stupid thing? Somebody post it in the StarCraft 2 channel.
That was me. Do you want the link?
I just got it.
Okay.
We got it. Thank you, though. On Halloween.
On Halloween. Nope, on the 1st.
Yeah.
If I posted it, we use
never get old, will it?
Oh, I'm not joking. I'm demanding that if I posted it, we use my time zone.
The date at the top of the article is October 31st, so nope.
I'm talking about the post in Discord. That's the bit that matters, not what they did. Come on.
It is not.
Okay.
Sorry, you live in crazy future land. It doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right. So they were like, okay, so we heard your feedback on the battery overcharge removal, but screw you guys. Effectively, we're going to continue testing this proposed change. However, there's been a strong concern about Protoss defense in the early game after losing the overcharge. So we're doing other stuff to try to fix that problem, the larger problem. But we're still getting rid of overcharge as of now, they said. Yes.
Is it just me, or does it not make sense to do these by race? Because they immediately go from battery overcharge removal to cyclone changes from 5.0.12 B/13 being reverted, and
Yeah.
I don't remember what those are, and it's
Nope.
nope.
Yeah, sometimes they explain what it was, and sometimes they're just like, we reverted the changes. And it's like, I'm like, wait, what were those exactly? Reverting to the old cyclone, they said. And I'm like, what exactly is that again?
We're not all pig with encyclopedic knowledges of StarCraft's patch history and every single unit change.
No, we're not.
Yeah, so there's that, whatever that is.
So we talked about last week how I will become the new writer for these patch notes because they used the wrong "it's" last time. When I'm in charge, we'll have these separated out into race, segregation, I believe they call it. And that way it'll be a lot easier to manage and handle. So don't worry.
You heard it here
Soon we'll
first,
have this
guys.
fixed.
Segregation under Falcon Paladin 2030? No, 2028 is the next election.
Whatever. Racial segregation. Yep.
Yeah.
No context for that.
Clip it. All right. Stalkers are being trained slightly faster from the gateway. I don't believe this will affect their warp in time once you get warp gate. It's just the first stalker that you want to build after you put down the cyber core.
Right, but again, this is to help address proxies. So good. You don't have warp gate anyway.
Yep. No, that's fine.
Yeah. So it says this will allow Protoss to more comfortably defend smaller rush builds, but also we're worried it might make aggressive Protoss proxy builds amazing. So we're gonna keep an eye on that.
Also true. The Ghost. This is the Clem nerf. Clem famously has asked for this directly, which was to nerf ghosts. So they're now going from 2 to supply to 3, which cool. Yeah, I think ghosts are really strong. I don't think there's anyone who's going to say otherwise.
We've tried nerfing them so much, but it's not enough. Sorry. It's like this passive aggressive, despite multiple targeted nerfs in the recent years. Like we've been trying, okay? Jeez. They're back to Mothership not being able to be abductable. So that was true for a while, like a good chunk of time, and then they reverted it for some reason.
I don't know. I feel like it's still not a good mothership, right? Like anyway. Ultralisk anabolic synthesis bonus movement speed reduced slightly from 0.82 to 0.59. And anabolic synthesis is only the move speed on creep, isn't it? Like
no,
that's off creep. No, it's off
creep too.
Yeah.
It's a speed boost, and they get the speed boost on creep like all Zerg units do, and they get it off creep with the anabolic synthesis. Yeah. Yeah, and this was my comment in the Discord, was just we're nerfing Ultralisks. Like, yeah, the unit, when I see them, I go, why are you doing that in pro games? Like, Cyril did it against Clem, and I was like, why? Cyril, no! Yeah. And like, we gotta nerf that unit. That unit is way too strong. Slow it down so Marauders can do better against them. Sure.
Slow it down so you can snipe them easier.
They can't run away as fast when they're being sniped. Like, what the hell? This is the funniest change to me. Look, there have been times that Ultralisks have been overpowered in the history of StarCraft 2, and I'm like, yeah, this nerf seems warranted. But this one's like...
This ain't it.
No.
Okay.
They completely they got rid of all the changes they wanted to do to the Broodlord. Great.
Uh-huh.
They got rid of the Tempest damage point thing we talked about. Great. They got rid of the Liberator changes. Oh, the big old circle full of Liberators is gone.
Yeah, I think they
Great.
should change the Liberator Zone. I think they should
To
make it a
what?
rectangle and make it shoot
Ooh.
stars and stripes.
Ooh.
Because it's a Liberator. Like, come on. It's gonna bring freedom.
No, it's not going to bring freedom.
I do think it as a rectangle would be much more interesting, though.
I think so. I think every week there should be a mutation where it's a different shape. Sometimes it's a
Oh.
triangle.
Oh, what if you
Sometimes it's a rhombus.
I'm just picturing like an amorphic blob that slowly rotates and gains shapes as it's sat there on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Like a morphing. Oh, that'd be so hard to deal with. It'd be fun, though.
That would be
I'd be
awful.
so mad. Holy cow.
Now
So
under
everyone's like, the Hydralisk Dash is terrible.
yeah, but don't worry, the name's not finalized.
Now they're like, now you can target a thing with it.
Isn't that
Okay,
great?
it's still garbage. Like, what? How?
Yeah, still garbage. Even if they increase the speed movement bonus from 60 to 100%.
For again, how many seconds? Less than 2?
Less than
Yeah.
1.
Less than 1? It's a worse charge. Like, why give Hydra's worse charge? Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. It's worse blink as well.
Also, they don't need it. There's never been a time where like, man, Hydra's sure are. Wait, no, they did the thing where they slowed him down, right? They slowed him down and tried to give him the stash thing to compensate a little bit.
I don't think they slowed him down.
I think they did.
We
Let
can
me
look
look
at
real quick.
We can look at the other balance patch.
But too much news.
Did we not post this in the Discord? Oh no.
It was a while ago. Here we go. I found it. Hydralisk. Move speed on creep with muscular augments upgrade decreased from 5.11 to 4.83.
Okay.
And then they gave us dash to compensate for it. Yeah.
On creep.
On creep. Yes. Fine. So when you're defending, they slow you down.
Right.
Ooh, thanks, guys.
Right, but there have been loads of times where I'm like, I've got a big ball of Hydralisk, but I can't catch the Void Rays or I can't catch the Phoenix, and a dash would work there, maybe.
I'd love to see it. Like, yes, dash ability. All of the Phoenix are dead now.
Maybe not all of them, but I might catch one or two. Come on.
Yeah, better than 0.
Give it a chance, Falcon. You're so negative.
I am. I'm entirely negative. You're correct.
Don't worry, you have plenty of reason to be. Lurker, health reduced from 200 to 190. I'd like to know what was the unit math that they were doing. Like, is that 6 shots from a Marauder and now it's 5?
Right. It's
2 Purification Novas.
Purification Nova hits.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. And the sight is increased from 10 to 11, so they can see slightly further. Yay. Which is weird for a unit that's in the ground, you know?
Yeah, to have vision out there is kind of weird. Wait, so what range is what's their range with seismic spines? 10.
10.
Okay. So they can see 1 unit further than they can hit with seismic spines. That's interesting. But I guess that means you activate your attack faster. Right? Something comes into lurker range. It doesn't have to be inside lurker range for you to start finding it.
No, it has to be within range before the attack will start. You'll be able to see it, but you can't like manually target the ground and have them just do it waiting.
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
Remove changes. Missile turret salvage is no longer an option.
Sure.
Blue flame has been removed, and the spine crawler change is removed as well.
I wanted to see more spine crawler rushes in TV or in ZVZ.
So did I.
Honestly, that's the most fun ZVZ is spine crawler rush, in my opinion.
It's definitely not boring. I'll give it that.
Nope. I like it more than roaches versus roaches. I like it better than Hydra Lurker Viper versus Hydra Lurker Viper.
Really?
Yeah. Because Hydrolicker Viper turns into I abduct your stuff, you abduct my stuff, and we're even. And it's like, ah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to end a game when you're on Hydrolicker Viper versus Hydrolicker Viper. And if you are sunken or spine rushing, it is going to end the game one way or the other.
That is certainly true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. So is that it? Yeah,
Yep.
that's it.
So I don't know. I'm still not like super into what they're talking about here, but
No,
better.
It's better, but it's damning with faint praise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's StarCraft 2. I saw the new Deadpool movie.
Yeah, we all saw Deadpool ages ago.
Yep. Yep. And also the Venom movie.
That's the one you meant to say?
Nope. I was talking
No.
about Deadpool because it's great.
Oh, you went and saw
Coming
it
to,
again? Or is it like out on...
coming to
like-
Disney Plus
Oh.
soon.
So how'd you see it?
No, you're right. I meant Venom. So
Okay. Okay.
saw the Venom movie.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yeah,
How is
yeah.
it? How is it?
It's not quite as good as the first Venom, but like not a, I don't know, not terrible either.
It's not terrible. I mean...
No, there's definitely a couple things going on in this movie where like in the first movie they make it very clear that it's hard for a symbiote to find a suitable human host. Right? You can try a few humans and be rejected and kill the host before you find one you're compatible with.
Sure.
And at the end of the Venom 3, they're just like, symbiotes are just like latching themselves onto people and like, it's totally fine and everything's great. And it's like, but they're like, screw you, the first movie doesn't matter. We're in the movie 3 now.
I mean...
So that stuff happens.
Are these symbiotes that have been on Earth for a while at this point? Maybe they've gotten better at adapting to human biology.
Yeah, maybe they have. Although as far as I can tell, they've been captured by the military and stuffed in a tube the whole time they've been here. So probably not.
Is it a human tube? I mean...
What the heck's a human tube?
Was it man-made?
Probably. I don't. Machine manufactured, designed by humans. Does that count?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same stuff.
Like a test tube, man. I don't know.
I mean, they're adapting to Earth's biological compositions. That includes our glassware. I feel like this is fine.
Fine. Totally fine.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little wonky where they're just like, well, we want to have a lot of symbiotes and we don't have a lot of time in the movie for host shopping.
Right.
Yep.
So they're just doing whatever they want to do, which is fine. I think this was directed by Tom Hardy.
Really?
He has some like heavier involvement in this third one. Something. What does his IMDb say about? Not the director, because that's Kelly Marcel. He's credited as a writer. That's right. They let him write for this one. That's what it was. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I listened to this podcast that talks about, movies and TV shows and stuff. And they basically argue that Hardy's more interested in the homoerotic tension and relationship between Tom Hardy and Venom.
Between
Like Eddie Brock and Venom than like anything else that's going on. Like Tom Hardy's just like, this is cool. Let's investigate this. And nothing else really matters. And it's like,
I'm not against it.
I'm kind of see it, yeah.
Okay.
So that gave me a different perspective on these movies. I'm like, oh, okay. So they're not really doing like superhero MCU type stuff. This is just people stories, right? This is just Eddie Brock finding a relationship with an alien and trying to make it work,
Okay, yeah.
I do think too, and look, I've made this complaint before, but the fact that Sony in particular continues making these Spider-Man adjacent movies without any Spider-Man is like, why? You keep doing this. So at the first of Venom 3, it starts, you remember in No Way Home, when it shows Eddie Brock and Venom at a bar in Mexico, and they get multiverse shifted into a world where J. Jonah Jameson's on the TV talking about Spider-Man. This movie starts with them in that bar, and then they get multiverse shifted back to where they were. They never leave the bar. They are in the MCU multiverse for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then they get shifted back, and Venom says he's tired of all this multiverse shit, and they never talk about it again.
I feel like that is, like, on paper, that sounds awful. Like, you're waiting for this big payoff from the last movie or whatever, or from No Way Home.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we just had Deadpool, which is also a bit of a poke and jab at all of the multiverse shit.
That's true.
And so I feel like this works in the same vein as that. Like, I bet that is actually really funny to me if I go and watch this.
It is funny, but like, why acknowledge it?
Because
If you're not gonna do something with Tom Holland Spider-Man in this film, or ever apparently, then just pretend it never happened. Nobody was like, I'm going to Venom 3 to see what happens with Venom and Eddie Brock in the MCU. Like, the ads are not showing that. They're certainly not trying to sell that to anyone.
Right,
So for the first thing in the movie to be, remember when he was in the MCU? No, is a weird choice.
what if the plot twist at the end of the movie, or in the next one, was that they were in the MCU the entire time? And that was just another MCU.
Well, I mean, look, the world is a big place. Everything could have happened in this film in a way that never interacted with anything the MCU was doing. Like, Shield's not involved in it. None of the superheroes catch wind of what's going on. Like, entirely possible. So yeah, they could have done that. They could have been like, guess we're in the Spider-Man universe now, and then just like never left it and never run into anyone that we know in the MCU, and it totally would have been viable. That would have been more interesting, I think. Although that would have been a huge cock tease, because like the whole time you'd be waiting, you're like, surely Thor will show up at some point.
Well, I mean, they kept teasing him in Deadpool, and he never showed up. Like, Deadpool kept running around being like, "Why is Thor crying?" And you keep seeing him on the screen about like what he's gonna do if he gets to the MCU, and it's gonna lead with Thor crying. But Thor never shows up. We never have that moment.
At least he's on the screen.
Yeah, sure. Also, I'm looking at the cast for this movie. Andy
It's
Serkis
kinda
is in
nuts.
this.
I know.
He's in the MCU.
I think, well, yes. Also, I can never say his name, but he's the operative in Serenity. He's the villain in the first Doctor Strange film.
Yeah, I'm looking at his name. I'm like, I don't want to even try.
I cannot pronounce his name, but he's really good. I do like him a lot. We're gonna try Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, I
that
mean,
dude.
The Wikipedia has a play audio pronouncement on it.
Oh,
Chiwetel.
You're gonna do it?
Umadi.
You just spoke through it.
Chiwetel Umadi Ejiofor.
Yeah, I feel like you nailed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in the MCU and he's in this film as a different character. And yeah, the podcast guys I listened to were like, "Wait, is he supposed to be the character from the Doctor Strange film? Because he's supposed to come back and he never did.
Nope.
Is he back? Is this the MCU? Is he back here?" And then no, he's a different character.
He totally came back in Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. He was in that.
I saw that movie.
He was him from a different universe where he doesn't turn evil.
Right.
But, you know. And
yeah,
Doctor Strange is like, I dealt with you off screen. It's great.
Right. God, that movie sucks. Oh man, that movie sucks.
I thought you liked Multiverse of Madness.
I liked when they let it turn into a horror movie for like 20 minutes.
When they let Sam Raimi off the leash.
Yeah. But the rest of the generic MCU stuff is generic MCU, and it's not very good.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Okay.
Anywho's. Yeah, so Venom 3, there's a bunch of, idiot ball moments where characters do really dumb stuff so they can advance the plot. and there's a lot of weird coincidences. But I mean, the pacing is good. Like the Venom movies are never boring. They're
True.
very good at like, this is interesting, this is funny, this is action, this is interesting, this is funny, or move, 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 move.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they can always nail that, which I think is important.
Yeah, that's something. That's if you're gonna have a skill, that's a good one to have.
Yeah. Because that way people don't have time to dwell on the fact that they're bored and this movie sucks. So,
Right.
important skill to have if you don't think you have a major hit on your hands.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's not making a lot of money. It's not doing very well.
Oh,
They
really?
kind of set up another one if they want to, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think Tom Hardy said he's out after this one. Not that they can't recast,
Right.
but yeah.
I mean, they do call this one The Last Dance, so having another one feels a bit Rainbow First Blood Part 3, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a superhero movie. It's a horror franchise. It's an action franchise. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just listened to another podcast about the Halloween series, the series of movies. You seen those movies at all? About the killer Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
The Halloween mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've killed Mike Myers about 3 times, and they're like, ah, crap, this one made a ton of money. We're bringing him back, and then they bring him back, and it doesn't matter.
Right. No, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Right. So they don't really care all that much.
That's fair.
Anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's this whole plot point where because Eddie Brock got killed in the first movie and Venom basically merged with him to save his life,
Uh-huh.
they now contain what's called a codex, because that's the fancy word screenwriters use when they're like, I don't know what else to call this thing. It's a codex
Uh-huh.
that allows a super evil ancient being in space to be freed of the prison that the symbiotes all put him in a million years ago.
Mm.
It's only visible to him when Eddie Brock and Venom are fully merged and like in super Venom form.
Okay.
So they pretty often merge into super Venom form and allow the bad guy to see where they are.
Okay.
And the only way to destroy the codex is if either Venom or Eddie Brock is killed.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just kind of a mess. Like, there's a few times in the story where they establish very early, if we do the full Venom thing, they can find us and they will, they're going to use us to free the big bad, so don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 minutes later, they do it. And it's like, so how important is this really?
What was the reason why they had to do it?
Dancing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, was Eddie Brock in trouble and needed to fight his way out of a room full of morally ambiguous bad guys? Maybe just there to defend the public from the alien. Nope, he just wanted to go dancing. Okay.
Venom wanted to dance with Mrs. What's her face?
I've seen the clip. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's what this movie's doing. Again, it doesn't care. It doesn't care about much.
Mm-hmm.
It cares about the relationship between Eddie Brock and Venom, and maybe doing some cool action stuff and blowing some things up, and that's about it.
Maybe that's just like a deep commentary on Venom not really caring about the mortal stakes here. Like he still feels that Eddie's replaceable, and so he's just like, you mean if we do this thing, you might be in trouble? Okay, let's do the thing. I don't care.
Right, but if they get captured and then bad guy gets released, then Venom's in a butt ton of trouble. So he's not. I don't think he's okay with that. And he does care about Eddie because he does a heroic self-sacrifice at the end.
Dude, okay.
Spoiler alert.
Wow. Can't believe you just ruined that for me.
I know, right? I'm so looking forward to that one.
I'm gonna spoil the next Horus Heresy book for you.
Okay, so, but technically Venom dies.
Technically, is this one of those legally he was dead for 24 seconds and then someone gave him CPR?
No, this is like symbiotes. If there's any scrap of them still around, they can regenerate from that scrap.
How do they not
like
regenerate?
Wolverine regenerating from a fingernail, right?
or-
that
yeah.
kind of garbage.
Yeah. It's like, how does he not
Yeah.
regenerate from every fingernail? Like, imagine
Right.
cuts his fingernails and now he's just like, there's children running around. That's weird.
Right.
How does he not
So-
regenerate from every scrap of symbiote?
Right. Don't know, because it's magic. That's why. They can do whatever the
Right.
heck they want.
Uh-huh.
There are no rules.
There are no rules.
But yeah, they very clearly established there is a scrap of venom out there in a test tube somewhere that the U.S. military picked up at the beginning of the film. So there's some venom out there, and so it just leaves the door open. If they want to do this again, they'll do it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh. Anywho, okay. That's about it. Any movies or anything you're into? Arcane Season 2 comes out this week. Very excited for that.
Does it?
Yeah, on the
here,
9th.
Here already. Oh.
I know.
Is it? It's on Netflix, isn't it?
It is.
I don't have an active subscription. That's gonna be a problem.
It is going to be a problem.
Is it week to week? Or are they dropping like it in chunks? Like they did
Chunks.
Chunks.
3-episode chunks. Mhm.
Okay. That's the good middle ground. I don't mind.
Yeah, I think that's a good middle ground too. I agree. Much better than all at once, and maybe not as good for me as weekly releases, but that's close enough. I'm not gonna rant on Reddit or Twitter about that. It's like, fair enough. It's better than Netflix usually does. They're trying.
Yeah, they're
I
trying.
think they did that with the first season too. So I'm wondering if that's not something that.
The studio wants
Yeah, what's the name of their studio? I forgot. I want to call it
Arcane
Riot,
Studio.
but it's not. Yeah,
Riot's the
right?
game studio.
Is it Riot?
Riot's the video game studio. It's Arcane
That's what I'm asking.
Studios.
It is Riot.
But they didn't make the they're not the animation studio though.
No.
Arcane Studios made like not the TV series.
Yeah, Fortiche is the French animation
Fortiche.
studio that, again, knocked my socks off. The animation in season 1 is some of the most amazing stuff I've ever seen. Those guys were amazing.
There's a great clip of like a behind the scenes where the like an interviewer going through their studio, asking them really good questions, and she's like, I don't know if it was a she, it could have been a dude, I don't remember. I remember the artist there, she's a woman. And they go, oh, how do you get it to look like it's hand drawn? Like, how do you get it to look drawn? And the person just goes, we draw.
We use our hands.
Yeah.
Mon ami.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
So it is Riot. It is Riot Games. Okay.
Riot Games.
Yeah. So maybe Riot was like, if you want this Netflix, we're not letting you dump the whole thing on one day.
I don't know.
Murder's hype. Maybe they were smart about it. Who knows?
Maybe.
I'm just saying, everything else Netflix does is all on the same freaking day. So
I don't know. I don't watch every TV show that comes out on Netflix to know that that's true or not. I mean, all the movies come out in one day. I'll give that to you.
yeah, that's true. Stop doing that. Release the movies in 30-minute chunks for 4 weeks. Okay, cool. Warhammer.
Hold on. So what during our Saturday stream we were talking about gambling with card opening packs. So I bought some cards.
Oh, you're inspired. Nice.
I was inspired. Also, it also just kind of happens to be the 25th anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh! So they have a bunch of like classic packs with cards from when I played and collected.
Blue Eye White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I would love a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I have unfortunately made the mistake of looking online to see how much all of my old cards might have been worth, and it is upsetting to know that I threw away a lot of cards. Unfortunately, all the classic card packs are not out yet, so we have to wait until I get those next week. And the cards that I have now, I just don't understand. I don't understand how much this game has changed. There are like monster cards that are now half spell, and like
What?
they link in 8 directions. Like they have arrows around the card. I mean, like they link in the ones that are lit up. And I'm like, how do you link with cards behind you? There's only one row of monsters, and then the enemy's one row in front of you. How could that? I don't understand. Like the cards.
Find some rules online, is what you're saying.
I'm going to show you. The card is this big, right? It is tiny. That's my hand. Look
Yeah.
how much text is on that.
How are you supposed to read that? This is not for old people. This is for young people.
It is for young people, and I once upon a time there were monster cards that just had no effects. They had no text other than maybe like some flavor dialogue, like the Blue Eyes White Dragon. None of those exist anymore. If a card comes out, it has an effect. It has a paragraph and a half of reading that you've got to do to know how to field it.
Yeah. So it's Hearthstone then. They used to have cards that were just like 1 attack, 2 defense. That's it, man.
Right.
This is what this is. And now it's like if you have shuffled 4 of this card into your deck and your enemy is playing Murloc, then this happens. And it's like, oh, okay, great, thanks.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
But I have started rewatching the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, which I watched this as a child after school.
Yeah.
I forgot that it's just unhinged. It is so fast paced the first couple of episodes, and it does not slow down. It seems like it would be fine for anime setup to be like, oh, the main character's father is going to be critically rushed to hospital or grievously injured in some way. It's like, okay, well, it's not his father, it's his grandfather, but like his caregiver. It's like, okay, sure, that's the thing that happens as a setup. It happens twice in 2 episodes to the main character of Yugi. Like, it happened, and like, okay, it happens in the first episode, and then he's just mysteriously recovered. They do not mention it again in the second episode, where it happens again. He's hospitalized because of the events of a card game.
Wow. I mean, they gotta establish the stakes, man. I don't know how they're supposed to do that.
But they make his granddad a pull punching bag. Like, I don't understand. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun rewatching that show because they do not care about the rules of the game or the card's effects and stuff like that. They're just like, yep, wait, like the game's played with 8,000 life points. We're gonna play all the games with 2 because to play out a full game would take too long in the show.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
We're just gonna make up rules as we go. It's fine. Yeah, but I don't know. I enjoy opening the packs. It's a real problem for me. I used to have an EB Games account. I still do. That's I don't know. You guys had EB Games at one point, didn't you? When out of business. Yeah, we still have it. And so I went to buy some Yu-Gi-Oh packs, and it was like, hey, sign in with your EB World account. I'm like, oh, let's look at my order history. I haven't bought anything from there from 2017, and what it was my order history was Final Fantasy trading card pack about 80 times. That was the... And I'm like, oh, this might have been a real problem for me.
You're like, yes, I see. There's the pattern here.
Yeah, so if I end up homeless in the next 3 weeks, that's why. I have a real problem.
Yo. So did you get any good cards? Anything cool?
Out of this pack, here's the thing. I don't know if these are good or not. I did have like some websites open for a couple of packs that I opened yesterday. I bought a $50 tin that had like 3 packs, and the first pack I opened, I pulled a card that is maybe worth more than the tin. So in theory, I've made a profit on that tin if I wanted to sell it. Gambling, it's fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, keep us updated on those adventures.
Yeah. I will. It's gonna be a regular segment where I pull a pack and you get to watch me pull my hair out and go bankrupt, and my wife leaves me and takes the kids. It's gonna be a real downhill spiral for me from here on out.
Your dog finds a new owner. Yep.
Yeah. Not my dog.
I mean, you have to get a dog first, but...
Right. I mean, I can steal a dog from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Warhammer.
Warhammer!
My other crippling addiction. Let's go.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong about that.
I just want to complain. Aki posted a photo in the Discord and the Warhammer being like, for convenient purpose. That is a picture of all of my unboxed Warhammer. That's literally my shelf.
I saw that. and you were in this picture and you didn't like it.
I mean, it's a joke. I mean, she
Yeah.
asked for the photos of my shelves. So I gave us a bunch to choose from. All right, we read The First Wall
We did.
by Guy Haley? No, Gav
Yeah.
Thorpe. Gav Thorpe.
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 Thorpe. He said he wrote, this is his 40th Warhammer book?
It'd have to be.
Yeah. What did he say? It was the longest afterword. I'm like, okay, man, I get it. Like, you wrote this book. So it's his 40th novel for the Black Library, he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So, holy crap, dude.
Did you have anything else to say in the off to it? Or did you...
I told you, it's crazy long. He says a lot of things.
Anything of note? I'm sorry, let me
I
narrow
know.
it down.
That's
That's the hard part.
That's the thing. I mean, he said, I feel the previous 39 novels have been practiced for this one. This has been the most challenging writing I've ever undertaken. He says, one of the problems that can happen when you're trying to tell multiple stories like this, kind of in tandem in different locations and stuff, is that it can often turn into just an exercise in logistics. And it just turns into a math problem and it's not fun. So he really tried hard to like not just get bogged down in that stuff, and he said he did a pretty good job with that. So I think so too.
I think
the swapping all over the place, I think, felt really natural and it really worked for me.
It is interesting because basically all of these people need to write the middle story in a trilogy where it's like, okay, setup's already happened. We know the story doesn't end here. Now go and write Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's going very well. I think they're absolutely nailing it, especially because they've basically just broken it down into like stages of the siege. You get the outer solar system, and then the first bombardment of Terra, and now we're at the first wall.
Right.
Which is interesting because most of the fighting isn't done on the wall. It's done at like the spaceport that they're trying to take.
Right. There's a lot at the spaceport.
Most like a lot of it's at the spaceport, and mainly because logistics. Weirdly enough, like Puerto Rabo wants to land Titans. He needs the spaceport.
Yeah. You can't just drop them from orbit and land them where you want them to go. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, interestingly enough, you can. You just can't on Terra because of the shields. All right.
Right.
But they have coffin ships that literally just drop them from orbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Yeah, I liked too that they spent pretty much the entire book being like, the loyalists are getting pushed back and they're getting beaten and they're forced to fall back and they're losing the spaceport and all this bad stuff is happening. And then at the end of it, I don't know if Dorn, somebody's like, yeah, but again, we're just fighting for time. Like we're just waiting for Gilliman to show up with 8 million stormtroopers and win. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess we spent this whole book not really talking about that. So they did a good job making me forget about that because it kind of does undermine the stakes if you remember they're just fighting for time, right?
Well, I mean, that's how you make something interesting. It's just like, okay, yes, they've already pointed out that Horus's fleet is big enough that they could just destroy the planet if they want. So instead they gave him objectives, and it's like, okay, he wants to face his father. If his father doesn't come out, he can't destroy the planet. So he has to get in a certain manner. And it's like, okay, so what's the win condition for the loyalists? It's buy you the time, and maybe reinforcements can save the day.
Right. And Malkador mentions even moving the Emperor off world.
Yeah.
Like, if things get bad enough, he's going to evac the Emperor and just, like, leave everything to go to hell. And it's like, it's a plan.
Yeah, Dawn has the same plan. He leads the Phalanx to be, like, a part of this, like, fleet in the last book, where he's like, yeah, you'll be our way out if, like, something goes wrong. So go hang out at the edge of the system and don't draw attention to yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, so it's good. I did like this actually. He said he was given like 3 sentences of what this book needed to be.
Okay.
And I was like, that's it? That's crazy. Here's what he says. traitors are revealed in Imperial ranks, thanks to the Alpha Legion presence, 1. The Lionsgate spaceport falls, 2. First demons arrive, are summoned, or manifest, or something like that.
Right.
That's it. It's
Yep.
like, write a book. And he's like, okay. Seems like a lot, but all right.
That definitely seems like a lot to go off, but like it nails all 3 of them. I mean, okay, so
Yeah.
did you see the twist coming?
No, not at all.
I didn't either the first time I read this book, and I was
Yeah.
like, I had my mind blown when I was at work. I remember just stopping and being like, "Oh shit, Zenobia,
Right.
Like, how could you?"
Yeah, like Zenobi, how could you? But again, in the afterword, he says, my gosh, this is so long. It's like 10 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, yada, 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 Perturabo, demons, Horus, scroll, something about Euphrates, scroll. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So this says, we are reminded that the Emperor was a warlord, a conqueror of Terra before he began his great crusade.
Mm-hmm.
Unification was not achieved with kind words alone, and that had fallout.
Yeah.
So just the idea that we think of Terra as like, oh yes, it's Terra.
It's
under
unity.
the Emperor. Everybody loves the Emperor, especially on Terra. And then it's like, actually, no, a lot of people harbor some really harsh feelings about the Unification Wars. And when the Emperor comes around and goes, I need you to defend me, they're like, sure. And this is our chance. Let's go. It's so good.
Yeah. And especially when he's like, "Hey, Hive City, you don't make goods anymore. You make tanks. Make me tanks."
Also, no one gets vacations. You're going to work your asses off. And then when you've worked your ass off for a while, you're going to come die for me and come into the palace.
Yep. And like your children
you.
will work as well. Like,
Yeah. Like they're just being treated like resources. Like there's no appeal to their humanity, no taking into account that they're people at all.
yeah, or even that they're citizens of the Imperium, the people that
Yeah.
arguably the Imperium does want to protect, right? Like the Imperial Fist and Malkador, and like they do at some point have moments where they're like, this isn't how I want things to be, but it's a necessity, and like Sanguinius recognizes that Dawn is being very callous by putting all of the conscripts outside the walls first, and he's like,
Right.
but it's practical and it works, so we're doing it. Like,
Yeah. Brutal.
but we get
So-
so much of her story, Zenobi's story,
Yeah, we do.
like, and
And she's likable.
yeah,
Like Zenobi is cool.
yeah.
She doesn't suck at all. She's great.
She's really cool, and she finds
Intentionally
love.
so.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she finds
She
love.
finds love very quickly. She's like, I've been marching through this snow for 3 months and I can't feel my legs anymore. But man, this guy is hot and he's into me. Let's go. And I'm like, you don't look like a snow golem right now?
And he's got a tank that I can get inside
Yeah.
where it's warm. Yeah.
Can snuggle up in our tank. It's very romantic. They don't spend a lot of time with it. Like to the point that I'm not sure we needed it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just one
Okay,
last twist of the knife.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, it's pretty perfunctory. I mean, the amount of time that she spends where she's in this relationship in words is like 300 words. It's really not a lot.
It's a couple months in universe, but it's not in writing a lot.
Right. Not a huge part of the book.
So, given that this was my second reading of the book, I did pay attention to all the times where she refuses to outright say which side they're on, where all of the Adaba 64th Defense Corps are going for the cause, you know, or this is what we want to fight, or we don't want to like give up without being a chance to fight and wind up on the losing side. And there's a lot of like pointed comments where they're like, we need to say the thing without saying the thing.
Right. It was, because if you're going to do a big twist like that, it's more satisfying if the reader can go back and see hints. Because if you don't give them any hints and you just pull this out of your ass, then the reader's like, come on, that's not fair. And they get mad at you, and it feels unearned. So the fact that that he did go through, Gab did go through and seed that stuff throughout the thing. What I like this consistent theme in Warhammer of these, what do they call them? What are the officers who are checking for like heresy?
This you've picked up on something really interesting. This is
Yeah.
the 30k explanation for why commissars exist in 40k.
Okay.
In this, they call them integrity officers.
Integrity officer. Yeah.
But they're commissars in 40k.
Yeah.
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 Right. I figured they were setting that up. Something along those lines. I was thinking too, just in general,
Political
that whole
officers.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I like is they consistently do this thing in Warhammer 30k and 40k where it's like you have these assholes looking out for heresy and looking out for traitors and looking out for bad stuff that can undermine the effort and cause all these problems. And you're like, these guys suck. They go too far. They're too paranoid. They're mean to everyone. They kill innocent people. They're the worst. And then the story's always like, and they were right. There was heresy and traitor stuff going on the whole time. The end. And you're like, that's the lesson to take from this.
That it's justified. Well, that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Aren't the integrity officers in on the traitoring here? Like, they're like, oh, we need to screen everyone who's, not loyal to the cause. Wink, wink. The cause being for the War Master, though.
Oh.
So they're killing all the people who are too loyal to the Emperor.
Is that made clear?
I feel like when because when she gets busted,
who?
When Zenobia gets busted going back from her shack up with the hot tank driver, she runs into that guy and she's like, "You're the only person in the regiment who hasn't worked it out that I'm with the integrity officers. I'm here to offer you the drink and the poison and see if you'll take it." Like at first, and I feel like he's one of the command staff, right? He's he's there at the end, and the only people there at the end are still the traitors who want to like blow up all the tanks and commit a backstab.
Yeah, because they throw me because the first people they execute are the ones who are believers in the Emperor. The Emperor is a god, right? The Leviticus. Right. They're doing the heretical action of believing in the god Emperor.
Yeah, there's a great speeches. There's a great little line there where he's like, "Look, we're at war, and in normal times we would not do this based on their faith or their choices of belief, but we're at war. We can't have deviation from the what is it? Disobedience is basically what they call it. It's like we can't have the disobedience. If we say don't read the holy book, you can't read the holy book, right?
It's not about the book. It's about the breaking the rules. Right.
Right.
Yeah. But again, we spend so much time in the book talking with Dorn and seeing how his custodian buddy is like super against all this worship of the Emperor and like just wants to kill Euphrates Keeler and wipe out all these groups and stuff. So it's like, these people aligned with the Emperor are stamping this out. So you see the integrity officers stamping it out, and you're like, okay, they're aligned with the Emperor.
Right.
They totally trick you with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius. That's really good.
Yeah.
Did not pick up on that. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And again, this is like one of the 8 storylines that are going on in this book. It's a very big book.
It's a very big book. Also, Malkador is there, doing weapons testing for whether or not the faith can be used as a weapon to empower the Emperor.
Which the pragmatism is through the roof on this. It is so good. Yeah, and the answer, as always, is kind of, but also it's totally a conduit for the warp and for all bad stuff. So enjoy. There's this whole part in the book where they're like, yeah, these lamplighters can push back the Neverborn, and they're totally clearing the areas of influence of the evil, but also Neverborn spawn from inside their ranks all the time. So it's like, shit, are we doing any good here, actually?
Right. But Euphrates Keeler, true faith in the Emperor is a weapon. Like, she is able to do it as well. And she doesn't cause demonic incursions by herself.
Until she does.
Well, she gets tricked.
Again, don't think that's not becoming a conduit for evil herself.
I suppose.
So are flies plague father, or are they
No, they're plague.
disease?
I mean, the same
thing.
Same thing. In 40k,
hang on.
Nurgle. They're all Nurgle.
So it's all Nurgle. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's Nurgle.
Yeah.
She just becomes a conduit for Nurgle.
Yeah, okay. So
Kind of a big fucking deal, Euphrates Keeler.
So one of the other 7 plot threads is Abaddon, Typhus, and Zardu Layak are like, we need to do a ritual to try and get some demons inside the board. And it's like, okay, well, we can kind of do them if they're kind of bound with a person. So we need to find a way to make a conduit inside the thing. And there's a bunch of metaphysical bullshit to make that work. And I think the point of bringing in Typhus is that it's specifically a Nurgle demon.
It is.
So, yeah, it's all flies, it's all Nurgle. Korvax Utterblight, the life within death, is the name of the demon.
Yeah. How do they get it in there?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah.
It just says, was summoned by Typhus and Zardu Layak in order to subvert proto-imperial cult within the palace.
Right. Because, as Malkador always says, and as Dorn always says, and as everybody always says, this belief system in the Emperor as a god is a conduit that also allows in shit from people like Nurgle.
Right.
So,
I think that's how they got it in there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Euphrates, like, convinced that what she's doing is good and there's no risk to this at all, and the poor custodians in Dorne are all misguided and they don't understand. And then this thing happens, and we don't really get her after it, after she recognizes that she's been hijacked and turned into some kind of a host for a demon monster that has to be killed through some extreme heroics from our guys. Right?
Yeah, I mean...
Because I'd love to see her be like, oh... holy shit.
Well,
I get it now.
Boy, do I have good news for you. This series keeps going.
Okay, good. Good. Because I was a little annoyed with Euphrates. I'm like, look, you believe in yourself way too much. You think of your what you're doing is true and pure way too much.
She is unbound righteous faith, right?
Yeah.
The ignorance that can lead to.
Yeah, it's a problem. And in fairness, she does root it out. She detects what's going on, and she gets it out into the open where it can be taken out.
Right, with help from Taramakian, our custodian, who is supreme atheist, who's like, I've been serving with the Emperor for ages. Look with, like, your faith. Do it, please. And then she'll see the warp demon for what it really is. Which, fair. Like, that's kind of borderline powers of friendship kind of stuff, where he's just like, look, I'm a custodian. Trust me. You have faith in the Emperor. I'm his best buddy. Like, let's be friends, and that'll power you. Like, I'm generally fine with that, and I feel like this book was fine. Like, if we consider the metaphysical implications that, like, faith in the Emperor let this thing in, then faith in things associated with the Emperor can also empower Euphrates in the way that the Emperor maybe does empower her. Because, like, I think she lies to the custodian when she first meets him, because she's like, I didn't want to tell him that it was, like, divine revelation from the Emperor that I found him and where he would be. I'll just make up some bullshit that Malkador sent me after you. So she got that information from somewhere, and she's claiming divine providence. So maybe the Emperor is giving her hints.
Sure, but again, it opens a back door for Nurgle.
But like,
absolutely, this can be both things, and it is. Right? Yeah. But I just think backdoor for Nurgle probably outweighs anything else good that is going on here.
Well, I mean, thank God we've got integrity officers now. We could just like, if we root this stuff out, we'll be fine. And then add a dash of 10 millennia and you end up with what the church becomes. Boy, we
Yeah.
should read some of those books. They're a lot of fun.
Right. And
Yeah.
multiple times in this book, they're like, we should just wipe out all of these groups of believers. And they're like, we can't. We can't stamp it out. It's first of all, it would take too much manpower. We're in the middle of a war. Second of all, we can't stamp it out. They go underground. They proliferate other ways. Like, it cannot be stamped out. And for the next 10,000 years, we realize it cannot be stamped out.
Right. And like, even just like on a practical level, if you could stamp it out, the killing on Terra is what's weakening the Emperor's Aegis. It's like you
Right.
can't, like that's only helping you lose.
Yep.
But
Yep.
is letting demons into the palace a bigger issue? Maybe not. While they're weakened, they can be killed.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. I like it. I like that it's not a cut and dry system where it's like, as long as we kill the believers, we're safe. You know,
Right.
because it's not that easy. It's never that easy.
Right. And it's not as easy as just being like, yeah, let's just instate the believers into like the state sanctioned official religion either, because like, yeah, it has benefits. If done properly, it could empower the emperor. But
Yeah.
you
But
don't have time to set up the
backdoor
proper
to Nurgle.
backdoor to all the chaos demons. It's not in this case. It's just Nurgle.
Yeah. I mean, all of them, yes. But one is bad enough. Pick one.
One is bad enough. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So that's great. So yeah, I am very interested in seeing how Euphrates handles this because I imagine it's a pretty giant shock to her system.
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the list of Imperial personae here on the wiki, and it does not list Kirill Cinnamon, the person who she like grabs onto and is like her solid grounding at the end there.
Well, yeah, when she's basically whatever, metaphysically, there's a tree and it represents the emperor and it's corrupted, and she finds the corruption and pulls it out, and she can't get out. But then there's a chain that she can pull on to get out, and the chain is Cinderman. Right, so that's more power of friendship bullshit, right?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also described as his faith in her, which, if faith gives you power, it's friendship magic.
Right.
Kind of,
Friendship is magic. Yeah.
Friendship is magic. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. We've got some World Eater stuff here.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of Iron Warrior stuff here.
There's a. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed, Perturabo being like, Dawn is going to expect me to do some masterful siege tactic bullshits. I'm just gonna give them, who is
Did he
it?
give the job to one of my Triarchs who has no capability for being sneaky or underhanded at all?
Right.
And he's just going to mash his face on this thing and see if it works, because no way Dorn expects that. Yeah, I thought that was really funny too.
Yeah, and sure enough, he comes up with like, there's a lot of scenes where the other Triarchs are like, we need to talk about this guy's strategy. It's going to get us all killed. I looked it over for 45 seconds, came up with multiple reasons why. I'm not going to explain any of them because we all know it. Like, I wouldn't want to like make anyone feel dumb by having to explain them. So we're just going to trust us. They're there. His plan sucks, but let's just move on. It's a great way to get around having to write strategy without having to write strategy.
That's true. And they really established that Perturabo is an aggressive, short-tempered asshole. And if you at all counter anything he says, he'll just kill you straight up. So if anyone's like, you giving this job to this dude is going to get us all killed, you're just going to die. So you suck it up and you do what this guy says and hope it works.
Yeah, we get a little bit of I mean, I think we already saw it, but on Angel Exterminatus, the book, Barossus gets killed because he brought Perturabo bad news.
Yeah.
And Perturabo was like, nah, put him in a dreadnought.
Yeah.
And here he is being like, they think they honor me by letting me live, but really I'm just living longer with the shame of having failed my father. Ugh.
Yeah. Perturabo sucks, man. I appreciate his resistance to the warp, but man, does he suck.
He sucks.
Yeah. Karn's all out here again, barely able to hold himself together as any kind of a thinking being.
Yep.
That happens in this book, right? He recognizes
One of the
that they're running into a
triarchs.
trap.
Maybe.
There's a point where the world eaters are mindlessly attacking something, and he realizes, like, okay, we're just gonna die here. This isn't gonna accomplish anything. Let's pull back and go somewhere else. And like he barely manages to like pull himself out of it and get the people to follow him.
I don't know. From what I remember of this book, it's mostly him running at Rogel Dawn, being like, I can take him, boss. Let me have a go.
Yeah.
Just like,
right.
Goofy, I'll fucking do it again. And like, the other guys, they have to pull him out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that is funny. I mean, Dorn just backhands him across the room and then just like doesn't concern himself with him anymore. And I'm like,
Right.
maybe finish that one. He's pretty dangerous. And Dorn's
Right.
like, nah, got other stuff to do.
That's the problem. He's one of the characters that has like multiple books in 40k, so it's like,
Right.
we know he'll live, but this time it's because Dawn thinks it's beneath him, or he has bigger issues. Later it'll be Cornate blood magic, probably. It's like, no, Corn likes you. You spill a lot of blood. We're gonna invest some magic power in keeping you alive.
Right. So now he's magic. That's great.
Friendship
times
is
for
slaughter.
Karn.
Yep.
It really is. I like the interaction between Perturabo and Dorn too. Perturabo finally comes down. Like, sup, Dorn? And Dorn is just like totally taunting him the whole time. It's great. And one of Perturabo's commanders is in his ear, like, he's trying to delay you. Like, that's the whole point here. If you fight him here, he's going to slow down everything you're trying to do. This all depends on speed. You're going to let these people escape further within the palace, and we're going to have to fight them again. And Perturabo's like, like, I'm really pissed off right now, but you're right. And so he does. He doesn't rise to the goads and just, like, backs off, and we don't get the fight today. So I imagine we'll get that later.
Yep. We get that. Did we get that? I think we get that. I know we get Dawn fighting other things.
They teased it. Like,
well,
it'd be one heck of a ridiculous rug pull for them to be
Deadpool
like,
teased Thor.
no, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
He was on
Did
the
you
street.
think Thor was? Yeah, but later, like, it's a future event. You thought that was going to happen in that movie?
It could have.
It could have, yes, but I didn't think it would.
Oh. I was hoping it would.
I'm just saying, somewhere in the Horus Heresy, Dorn and Perturabo better throw down because
yeah.
they
I mean,
almost did.
Yes, they throw down.
Okay, good. That's all I want.
Yeah. We get more of Dawn really hating Sigismund's decision to have faith in Euphrates Killer.
All the time, every time, yes.
Yeah. Still really mad at him. Still really mad at him.
There's a great scene where Sigismund's out there fighting, and he's like, well, we might die out here, but oh well, I'm doing my duty. And then Dorn's like seeing the big picture, and he's like, we gotta pull back. Like, this is not gonna go well for anyone.
All right, and he's
So
like,
he
but
tells
Abaddon's
Sigismund-
here. But Abaddon's
Right.
here.
And he tells Sigismund to fall back, and he's like, but we gotta take down Abaddon. And he's like, look, you frigging moron, I hate you so much, and you're not my son anymore. Like, if you want to stay out there and fight, you can, but don't call it honor, don't call it duty. And then Sigismund looks around and he's like, shit, he's right. You should fall back. And then Dorn's like, welcome to the party. I was right the whole time.
Yeah.
He hates him so much.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah. Anything else interesting happen in this book?
We're gonna miss something. Last week we missed Vulcan being alive.
We did.
So
That's true.
We're going to miss. Zadulayak saves himself. Doesn't save himself.
Sacrifices
Says himself to save Abaddon.
Abaddon. Yeah.
Very much believing in like the thing he set up in the last book, which is Abaddon being the next War Master of Chaos.
Right.
So this is more head nods to like Horus losing, because
Yeah.
it's a thing just about everyone who reads this book will already know. Yeah, and his sacrifice is what allows the first demons to be summoned on Terra.
Right.
Yeah. So other
He
word bearers
suicide bombs Dorn.
Dorn. Right.
Right.
Which
And
doesn't
Abaddon's
work.
like, I've never seen a Primarch ragdoll like that before. That was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other word bearers turn his like death spot into like a little shrine.
Aw.
Aw,
Adorable.
isn't that sweet? They're really just good at heart, you know.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep. So we talked a lot about Zenobia. The human element in this book was really good.
Yep. Agreed.
Honorable mention to the couple who decided to stay on the spaceport and get some guns and defend their little home, making tea as their hab unit is incinerated.
He's making tea, and she's like, "Why are you making tea? I thought we were saving it." And he's like, "I don't know. Now it's as good at any time."
Yeah.
You know, good point. Yeah.
We're probably not going to get restocked. We might as well enjoy it now.
Yeah, that was great. And they get completely blown up.
Yeah. So that's that book. 2 thumbs up for me. Well done, Gal.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed that one. Like I said, sometimes I find myself being like, I got to read my 30 minutes, and this one is kind of a slog. But no, I was definitely into this one the whole time. So
Excellent.
good job, Gav. And he says it's his best work, so
It's
excellent work.
Yeah. I mean, I believe it. It's really good.
Yeah.
So, according to the flowchart, we're up for a novella, one of 2 short stories in the entire Siege of Terror. But we're gonna skip it because it is entirely irrelevant and entirely there to set up some 40k shit. It's like, hey, here's a piece of the Primaris puzzle that's like
Right.
dating
Primaris
all
Project. Yeah.
Yeah.
We already know what that is. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit there. It's if you remember Angel Exterminatus, there was like a gang of the Shattered Legions who were like sniping at Fulgrim or whatever at Perturabo's amphitheater or whatever. It's like the Iron War.
yeah. Those guys were cool.
It's that gang of misfits. This is the very short book on how they all die but save the Imperium or something, right?
They save what?
The Imperium.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad they got to save the Imperium because they were worried about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can skip that. It's called Sons of the Selenar. Read it on your own time if you want to.
Okay. Deal.
We're going to Saturnine by Dan Abnett, Warhammer Santa himself. That is our next book.
Saturnine.
Saturnine, yeah.
Saturnine. Siege of Terra.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, I'm gonna send you the wiki page.
Okay.
Just look at the list of people involved in this book. The
boy.
dramatis personae.
Scroll.
I know what we nearly missed at the very end of the book. There's a
John
little
Grammaticus.
Yeah, John Grammaticus shows up, and the Hive City that the Zenobia was from, Adabar, is now burning. Like like Dawn in his annoyance found the time to revenge bomb an entire city in the middle of this war.
Yeah. Classic Dorn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's
So there's this old lady. She's like the last one from this entire group hanging out, watching the Hive City burn. And John Grammaticus steps through a hole, right? The transwarp hole. It's like, So, how are things? She's like, yeah, not great. Things are pretty bad.
Yeah. Which way is the Imperial Palace? A long way that way.
That way? He's like, thanks.
Thanks.
She's like, are you the Emperor? And he's like, no. So, does he say you can call me John?
You can
does
call me
something
John.
to be like, the reader knows who I am.
Yeah, you can call me John. Yeah, he's like, oh, you speak like Odeshi? And he's like, I speak everything.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a pretty good tell too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dokuli Saturnine.
Did you look at the list?
I scrolled, yeah.
It's huge.
Big.
It's huge.
So how many names do I not recognize?
You shouldn't recognize any of the names in red.
Oh. I don't
Ones that...
recognize Bogdan Mortel,
Where is Bogdan
a
Mortel?
warsmith for the Iron Warriors.
He was in this book.
Sure, okay.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I recognize a bunch of these world eaters and 1,000 Sun here. Oh, Ozek's here. What's up, Ozek?
Yeah. There's not a lot of Thousand Sun characters at this point.
No. There was a rumor. Yeah, somebody said there was a rumor that Magnus was fighting on Terra
Yeah.
in this book, but
So-
it doesn't really go into it.
No, so, okay, there are exactly 2 novellas in the entire Siege of Terra. One of them is Magnus's book. It's a little sad that his story is cut short. I don't know. It's a short story. We'll read that. We won't skip that one. We'll read it.
Okay.
So we will get like what Magnus is doing on Terra. We will get that answer.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, one of the things I was going to say about the First Wall too is that it does a good job basically making you feel the scope of the war and how big it is and how chaotic it is and how it's not just localized to like, there's this 1 square mile spot where everybody's fighting. It's like,
Right.
no, people are lost inside the walls. There's like the Prometheum stuff is like dripping through, killing people randomly. There's, 4 separate inserted groups from heretical people all running around in there trying to do their own thing and kind of running into each other and like, I thought you were dead. And it's like, yeah, I thought you were dead. Let's group up. Like, just so much chaos going on.
Right.
Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody has
Right.
the full picture of what's happening in the war, and I think that's nice.
What's even good there is that is just over like 1 spaceport, like, which is, I mean, we're calling it a port. It's basically a space elevator. Like, it's monstrously big. Part of Zenobi's little reinforcement group, which was they were under like the shield where no one can see them. They're on a big cloaking device, and Dawn had been saving them as like surprise. Here's a reinforcement army that was went to go to the Lionsgate spaceport. They had tanks. Like, the spaceport is big enough that you can deploy tanks inside it, you know, without like destroying the structure, because tank fire.
Right. Yeah, it's real big. I just felt like I just got the sense, which is nice when you're reading it, that it's big and chaotic. Yeah. Loken is here. That's Garrow is here. Okay. Oh man, this is a lot. There's a lot going on in this book.
It's a big book.
Yeah. And that's why this whole thing is 100 books, is because you needed the time with the characters so that. Yeah, because you couldn't just set up who Loken is in this book.
Right.
You got to spend time with him to understand who he is, and then when you use him here, it works. Yeah. That's big undertaking.
Yep. And like, can you believe at the start of this they were like, the Horus Heresy might be 10 books, which is why Horus falls to chaos in like 2.5.
Right. They had some misconceptions about what this was going to be.
All right.
All right, good. We got it.
We got it. Wrap it up, put a bow on it.
Yeah. How many Kindle rewards do I have? A lot. Good, great. Okay. Yep, we'll wrap it up. Okay, so going to be it from us. We'll be back next week on the Falcon Paladin Hour here at twitch.tv/Somicron. Come say hello, drop a Prime sub if you're an Amazon Prime member. That'd be cool. The VODs also show up on youtube.com/Somicron, which is maybe where you're watching this as well. You can support the pod in other ways by going to patreon.com/Somicron and buying merch at falconpaladin.store. There are some new buttons out there, and the store got a redesign, which is pretty neat. And yeah, that's about it. So be with us next week as we talk about StarCraft 2 and movies and books and stuff, and especially Warhammer. And until then, you take care of yourself.
Probably Arcane next week.
Definitely Arcane next week. Yes, good call.
Yeah.
Definitely Arcane.
All right. Cool.
And yeah, that's it. Until next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Fuzzy Falcon says bye. What? Why am I